Jaguar, a brand that has always defined being agile, powerful, sleek, and seductive to achieve the art of performance. And all these qualities are reflected in their cars. For instance, the XJ, which is the flagship, and has always redefined luxury and elegance in one single package. In my opinion, no car in the segment looks or feels as special as the XJ does. Then they have the 5 Series fighter, the XF, which defines the segment with its combination of style and substance. But there was always something missing in the lineup. Until now. The car is designed by Ian Callum. Well, he's the same person who did the F-Type, so that should sum it up for you that how beautiful the XE looks. Ian Callum also says that the power punch in the bonnet serves not only to look pretty, but to add strength to the bonnet itself, provide better pedestrian protection against hard components in the engine, and also help with air circulation inside the engine bay itself. So those curves and lines the car carries actually do things. So the XE is Jaguar's take on the entry-level luxury market. Well, this is not the first time Jaguar has attempted to give a product in this category. Back in 2001, there was a product called as X-Type, which did not really go well for Jaguar at that time and had to be discontinued finally around 2009. But this XE is completely an all-new platform, and it is not based on any of its older or the current generation sedans. So there's only one way to find out, is to get to the driving to understand how good it is. Oh. Okay, let's cool things down a bit. So the one we are driving here is a 2-liter 237 horsepower engine, which is mated to the 8-speed automatic ZF unit, and this is the top of the line offering from Jaguar. And though it has one more variant which is having the same engine but slightly detuned spec. So yeah, more about this engine. Well, this is the same engine which we have seen in the Jaguar XF as the 2-liter petrol offering from the XF, and also on the XJ, which they introduced as the base trim a few months back, maybe a couple of years back now. So yeah, it's having the same engine specification at 237 horsepower and 340 Newton meters of torque. First things first, the initial impressions, it's really good on drivability and refinement. And as we saw in that short acceleration stint which we did, the 0 to 100, though we have not tested, we don't have a V-box here, the 0 to 100 claimed by the factory is 6.8 seconds, which makes it really fast and probably the fastest petrol in this segment. Well, the 0 to 100 aside, let's talk about the actual real life drivability. Well, it is absolutely spot on. Again, thanks to the engine gearbox combination both, and not only thanks to the engine. But we'll talk about the gearbox slightly later. Right now, let's just focus on the engine. So as you know that this is a 2-liter turbo engine, well, it's pretty much lag-free, and it's properly suitable to drive and adaptable to drive on a regular basis in city traffic as well as when you're out on the highway. And this also has driving modes which you can select by these buttons here, which is the dynamic, which is actually the sport mode. Then we have the normal, the eco, and the winter mode here. So based on the modes you select, the car will actually alter the engine mapping, which actually alters the throttle response, and also the steering feedback. So yeah, I can feel in dynamic it feels a slightly more weighty, which is good, and in normal, as soon as those speeds drop, it will definitely be much more lighter and more comfortable when you're maneuvering inside the city. So we're coming to the gearbox now. Well, as I told you, this is the 8-speed ZF unit, but thanks to the all aluminum construction, it has actually saved approximately 10 kilos in the XE, and this is the same gearbox present on the XJ and the XF. This is the same 8-speed unit. Oh, I love these 8-speed ZFs. They're so good. You know, it's like the car is telling you and, you know, asking you, well, you want one more gear? here you have it. Well, one more gear, take another one. So these extra gear ratios really help in having that seamless shifts, no jerkiness, as well as it helps in good fuel economy. As we are talking about fuel economy, let me tell you the extreme part. Well, if you want to touch the top speed of this car, try it in 7th gear, not the 8th one. So as we now know that the XE is designed absolutely from scratch. Well, when they were designing it from scratch, they had only one deliverable in mind: to make it the best driver's car in the segment. To help XE achieve that goal, it has been given a complete all-new chassis. Well, this is not the first time they are doing a all-new chassis. Previously, they had done an all-new chassis on the F-Type, and we all know how the F-Type drove. Similarly, the XE is absolutely a stunner, and thanks to it all aluminum construction, I can truly say that the weight saving as well as the weight distribution. As we are speaking about the weight distribution is 53% front, 47% rear, almost 50-50% like the BMW is what we have. Also, as we are talking about the chassis and the aluminum construction of the body, let me tell you, this car feels lighter than the 3 Series somehow. Well, I drive the 3 Series daily, and I believe that this car is slightly more agile than my 3 Series, and it takes a bit of pain saying that, but this is true. And also somehow this car feels slightly more compact as well. It seems that there is slightly less car behind me, and that adds to the driving performance, that adds to the confidence when you're driving hard. And this XE has hit the right spot when it comes to the handling. Speaking of right spots, I need to say that the braking is also very good on this car, and I believe that they've hit the right amount of pedal feel into the brakes, and no complaints in that department. Okay, so coming to the steering, as we just completed speaking about the handling, the steering is a major contributor to give this XE that agile feel. And let me just give you a quick backdrop. This is the first Jaguar sedan to have an electronic power steering unit, and it's so good. It's having the proper feedback and it's properly weighed. So yeah, this electronic power steering unit feels so much better than the current Jaguar sedans servotronics, which are on the XF and the XJ. And also, let me tell you, as we are talking about the steering, let me add a point. This electronic power steering unit is a slightly more efficient one as well. It is cutting down the CO2 emissions by 3%. So Jaguar has made the Indian government happy as well. So coming to the ride quality, let me tell you very honestly, I'm absolutely thrilled that a car which is such a sharp handler can be so good on ride quality as well. It feels like you're driving on a cloud. Yeah, it's that good. And major credit goes to the tires also. Well, look at the competition. The competition has 225 50 R17s on the 3 Series, 225 50 R17s on the C Class as well. But this one, the XE has 225 55. So that 55 profile does the job. It's absolutely absorbent, really good. And well, let me tell you also that 225 55 R17 is 5 Series size. So that says a lot about the ride quality. Coming to the interiors, well, interiors are nothing mind-blowing like the exteriors are, but I can say that Jaguar has played a bit too safe with the interiors. My favorite design element in this, the interior of the XE, is this Riva hoop design element, which is like shaped like a yacht. We had seen this firstly in the XJ. That time it was having a wooden trim on this Riva hoop, but here this design is really good. And it's good to see this design element has been trickled down into the XE. Everything else feels good. The steering feels good to hold. I feel that buttons don't have that premium feel to them. So that is something which is probably during the facelift they can get this done. The next thing which I love is the engine start-stop button, which is actually placed exposed, and it really looks good and very much sports carish, if I may say. Then another big improvement from Jaguar side is the infotainment system. This now is having a much better resolution, but I still feel it's a bit slow. Though the touch sensitivity is not bad, I feel this is pretty much good. And here we have a 360-degree camera, and also you have the cameras on the front bumper, which are actually the intersection cameras. Coming to the space, and I believe Jaguar has hit the sweet spot when it comes to the space and the comfort when it comes to the front passenger and the driver. It's really good on space, seat width, as well as the visibility for the driver is spot on when you're driving hard. Coming to the space at the back, I really feel that the Jaguar XE loses out on the rear space, and the competition offers more space, be it the 3 Series or the C-Class. Also, the boot space in the XE is slightly less compared to these German rivals. The headroom also takes a beating because of the stooping roofline, and anyone above 5'11", 6 feet might be complaining about the headroom. So to eliminate this claustrophobic feel to the cabin, thankfully Jag has provided us with a full-size sunroof. Okay, moving on. Overall, the car is pretty feature-packed, as you can see the long list of standard equipment. But sadly, the pure trim is missing out on the xenons, and the portfolio doesn't have the heads-up display which is offered in the global market. Also, I'm waiting to see how soon the XE will get the Ingenium diesel, and if Jaguar will offer the F-Type's V6 in India. Well, let's wait and watch. Well, so here it is, the Jaguar XE. Well, many may think that it's just a badge and it's just an entry-level luxury thingy by Jaguar, but no, this is much more than that. And I'm really happy that Jaguar now finally have a product in this segment. When I primarily say this because people have said that the 3 Series is kind of gone soft this generation F30. But yeah, well, the LCI is already out and we are yet to test that. The C-Class, it's not having that go to match the show. The A4, well, that's a front-wheel drive car and it's on its way out. The all-new generation is yet to come in the Indian market. So yes, this is absolutely a correct timing for Jaguar to hit this XE into the Indian market. There are a few rough edges which the XE has, like the buttons in the interior could have been slightly of better quality. There should have been more space at the back, and also on the exterior I noticed that the exhaust scale pipes have been left naked and there are no muffler tips on them. But the XE represents Jaguar's entry into the compact sport luxury sedan market and sets a new benchmark for the Germans. Well, it is a symbol of sophistication, luxury, horsepower, and most importantly, style.